Welcome to Master Your Mindset for a weight loss breakthrough. Carve out the healthy life you deserve with Adrienne Kraig. Adrienne is a certified health coach here to guide women on their journeys toward a healthier life. Adrienne will lovingly hold you accountable and empower you as you create a natural and sustainable weight loss plan designed to keep you feeling good every step of the way. Nourishing food can be delicious and movement can be fun. Get ready to own your power and create lasting change in your mindset and lifestyle. Now here's your host, Adrienne.
Hi, I'm Adrienne Kraig. Welcome to Master Your Mindset for a Weight Loss Breakthrough. Would you like to cut through the superficial and get to the root cause of your health and weight loss challenges? Would you like to gain body confidence on your weight loss journey instead of waiting until the end? I'm here to help you carve out the healthy life you deserve. Today, we're going to talk about body stories. We're going to talk about body confidence, and we're going to do a special reframing technique in our live audience portion, which I'm really excited about, with confidence coach Susan Axelrod. I'm so happy to have you here, Susan. I personally work with Susan in her accountability group for female entrepreneurs, as well as coaching for myself, because I always like to remind people that even coaches need coaching.
Yep.
And before we get into talking about body stories and talking about building confidence, I just kind of like to ask people to think about a couple questions. And that is, are you confident in your body? How do you think about your body? And what stories are you telling yourself? And I want to let people know that body confidence can be cultivated with a positive mindset. And there are simple, effective tools. And as I mentioned, we're going to demonstrate one later today, but that can really help you transform your mindset as you're working to build and develop body confidence.
Hi, Adrienne.
Hi.
Good to see you. I want to just interject myself here. Thank you so much for inviting me to be a special guest. In addition to loving everything about this, since we first talked, I myself have had the opportunity to go into my own mindset, remember a lot of things, and explore where I am in my own body confidence journey. And so when I'm asked to be a guest, I do a lot of mental and actual preparation. And so I really have been on my own little journey since we talked. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm always on that body confidence journey as well. I like to say that it never really ends. Our baseline changes, but we're constantly learning and growing. So even as a coach, I'm learning new things. We've all been through this, pandemic, which no one's ever been through before. None of us have ever prepared for it before. And I think it's introduced many new facets to, the confidence journey in any goal, including body confidence goals.
I do agree. I spend a lot of time on social media. As you know, that is the only way I market myself as a coach, in addition to personal referrals. And I do it through what I call organic marketing. And that is, I listen first. I read first. I listen. I don't just start interjecting myself everywhere, but and because you've brought my attention by inviting me to be a guest, I have seen so many women in particular, because I work with women, talking about exactly what you just said. Some of them have gone so far as to say, I feel so much less confident about my body. They haven't been able to work out as much. They haven't been able to focus on good eating because of everything that the pandemic has created. And so this opportunity that we have today is to bring people back into that core. I call it the soul space, with the soul connection of how you want to be. But what I love so much about what you share in your work as a coach is just be here. I have a little saying that, is get okay with being okay. And I have adapted that to what I've learned from you since I've gotten to know you and your message, which is get okay with where you are now and get on the path and go. That's what I love about this. And the body confidence. Wow, this is a big topic. I'm glad we're talking about it today.
Yeah, because I know from my personal experience and kind of sharing some of my body stories from the past is that I know when I was heavier, I've shared my story before in the past that I put on 35 pounds in 4 years after I turned 40. And that took a toll on my confidence because I had always been naturally thin. I had recovered fairly well after I had my daughter. But hitting midlife, my body really, just changed in a way that, was hard for me to handle. And it seemed to change so fast that it really did affect my body confidence. And in turn, it affected my confidence in a lot of other areas of my life. And for me, it wasn't until I started getting my body confidence back, getting my health back, that I was able to take on some of my other goals in life that I had for myself. And I know in speaking with you, you kind of had expressed that you had a type A personality, which is something I definitely had. I think we both come from corporate backgrounds, and, type A's tend to thrive there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so we talked about, you mentioned as well that you've had a change in your body story as as you've grown in your life as well.
Thank you for the opportunity for me to share my body story. And also to all of our listeners, you have a body story, and story is really the correct word. I'm in my body truth now. But Adrienne, what happened with me was I didn't ever consider myself athletic growing up. Not really, but as I've thought about it, I realized I was active, but I wasn't an athlete. And so after I had kids, I was working full time, and I was a type A, so only perfection was good enough. Nothing else was good enough. And so that took time away from the idea of working out or whatever, trying to get better. And also, I didn't see at that time how I could lose. I also had gained, I'm going to say 30 to 40 pounds. Now I'm 5'6¾". So I've always held my weight well. And so everybody would always, oh, you don't have a weight problem. But as you know, your weight problem is yours if you see it that way. If your mindset is, I have a weight problem. And so I would be sitting on the couch, literally, and watching my husband and my husband go to the gym, and my one daughter start to be into a whole fit life journey. And I would feel bad about myself. And that made me feel badly. And then that's the path that I was on for many, many years. My husband did more and more, and I did less and less. And I saw myself in that way. That was the image that I had in my eyes. And the day I got on the scale and it tipped over a number that I thought in my head was more than my husband weighed, it turned out it wasn't, but in my head, I really freaked. And but I still didn't have any tools to know what to do about it. It was too overwhelming. I couldn't get to the gym and all of that. So eventually I had a little breakdown. I went on meds for anxiety, and that brings on weight. And then I wanted to get off those meds, and my doctor said, if you want to get off the meds, go to a gym. And I wanted that so much that I did that. And that was the beginning of my body change story. But Adrienne, I want to tell you, my sister tells people that her sister, she says, my sister changed her body with her mind.
Mhm.
And what that means is I did change my mindset into the what do I want it to look like? What do I want it to be? It wasn't like sexy, skinny, bikini body. I was just like, I just want to be healthier. And my sister says my sister changed her body with her mind. And honestly, I did. And that's what we're talking about today. Now, can you lose 150 pounds with your mind? What you can do with your mind is use your mind to see differently with your eyes. You
Mm.
can see 100 pounds, 150 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, whatever. You can see it a certain way that creates a thought about what you're seeing. Or when you're ready, if you want, you can see it a different way. I put myself on a path forward to the rest of my life. I call it a fit life journey. And
Mhm.
I began to see it differently, that I could do it, that it was possible. And that's really what we mean by change your mindset. You can literally see your body a different way, but it does take courage to be confident in that, Adrienne. It really does.
Yeah, you're so right. It does. And I'm finding as you're telling your body story, so much of that resonated with me as well in my body story,
Mm,
the getting so busy with life or so busy with everything I felt I needed to do for everybody else, not thinking about my health, sitting on the couch, watching members of my family be more active than I was being. And for me, I didn't have the body confidence to, go and work out in front of other people. So I started out by working out in my home, just doing some cardio, or I would take walks because I felt like I could kind of hide myself.
mm,
There weren't a lot of people out walking, and I could dress to kind of hide what I wasn't confident in as I was getting started. But I want to take an opportunity for a sec to talk about a reframing just with health and nutrition that I've come across recently. I was recently listening to a summit with a cardiologist who presented named Dr. Columbus Batiste. And he had so many great things he was speaking about, how he worked with his patients. It was very well aligned with how I feel I work with my clients as well, in starting with the mindset and not necessarily diving into trying to cover everything in the kitchen, because as you
mm.
said, that leads to overwhelm a lot of the time. But he mentioned he asks this question of his patients, and I think this is kind of a great reframe as well. So he asks his patients, when you first tried alcohol or coffee, did you like it?
Mm.
And most people will say no. And he's like, well, why did you keep drinking it then? And it's because of the way it makes people feel. Well, his point is kind of, if you could keep drinking alcohol or coffee because of the way it made you feel, if you think you don't like fruits or vegetables, if you keep eating them, you will begin to like them because of the way they make you feel. And I think that's an awesome health reframe.
I love that health reframe. And I love everything about it. Let's get into what I call apply right now.
Okay.
Right now, let's get our listeners to apply.
Yeah.
To anybody who's listening, watching, or in the archive or whatever, think about a time that you thought you couldn't do something. And
Mhm.
for whatever reason, you figured it out. And later on, it became easier. Maybe it was walking. For me, honestly, Adrienne, I live on a short block. It's only not even a third of a mile to the end of my street. I couldn't run to the end of the street. I couldn't run that. And so eventually I worked my way, and eventually I ran a half marathon. But I honestly, and so I want to ask people to, this is called apply, what we're talking about, this mindset reframe and applying it to yourself. Think of a time that you couldn't do something, and think of the way you then practiced it, tried it, created a habit around it, whatever it was for you. And now you can realize, oh, I forgot that I didn't really do that well. Right? That, and that could be about gardening. It could be about your work. When you got a project, you didn't know how to do it. You worked, you had to, you figured it out. And now you're like, you can do it. That's the same that we're talking about with this mastering of your mindset. And that takes courage because Adrienne, everything about your body is like, it's intimate. It's like, it's really, it creates sad or scary, for women, it's the underarms here, or for women who are obese or people, I should say, or whatever it is. I hate my thighs, for me, it was my bottom area, I hate this, I hate that, everything about that. And we want to really flip this to say, what can I do? This is the reframe that we're talking about. Is that helpful, Adrienne?
Oh yeah, definitely. You're exactly right. And I want to take a moment and just, if people aren't familiar with reframing, what is it? And I think with what you're going to show us in the live audience portion, I think this encapsulates it very well, that reframing takes a negative, disempowering thought and it transforms it into a positive, empowering thought. And we're going to get into that hands-on. And another way reframing works, because there's lots of reframing techniques, reframing is one of my favorite things to do with clients because I love seeing that light bulb go off when they just feel so much lighter and confident and happier, after they do an exercise. But another way that it works is it can change relationships that you have with experiences you've had in your life. And then it changes what they mean to you. So it's not negating or erasing the content of your experience. It's just shifting it in a way that can help you get a new perspective or get a new meaning around that experience. So it can be experiences, it can be thoughts, but I think today we're really focusing on, that mindset thought portion.
So I'm loving this. I want to do another apply. I want to do a connecting apply technique. When sometimes some people block the idea of reframing to the positive. Oh, why does everything have to be positive? Everything doesn't have to be positive. I don't have to love my body, right? So they block that. So I want to help open up the idea to this. This is another little tool or technique that I use. We move forward in life from the moment that we're in now. In this moment, if I'm in unhappiness or sadness or anything on the negative side of the feeling scale about the way I look, sometimes for me, it's my double chin or whatever, my stomach, now I'm middle-aged, this area, whatever. If I'm in distress, if my thought is like, I hate the flab on my underarms. I'm sorry, I'm using a middle-aged woman example because I'm a middle-aged woman and that's my cohort. But if I hate the way my thighs look, right, in a bathing suit, then you're sitting in the thought of I hate the way my thighs look in a bathing suit. Mm-hmm. If I could put a sarong on and a cute little top, then you can feel better and at that moment be like, oh, I'm hiding my thighs, and then you feel a little bit better. And then you go from better to better feeling. This applies in life. This is my confidence coaching, and it applies with body confidence, body consciousness, and body image. If I'm in the bad feeling, the bad thought of a body part or my whole body or how I feel about myself, I stay there and I keep going there, moment, minutes, hours, weeks, months, right? But if I can find a reframed thought, we're going to talk about that later, but exactly like you just talked about, negative disempowering to positive empowering, then I go from positive empowered thought, like, I'm not so bad, or I could be okay, or I do like the way I look in this blue color. I am rocking it. I may not like my body, but my hair is good today, right? Then you're like, oh yeah, I'm rocking it today. And then you go into the next. Do you get what I'm saying, Adrienne? Do you
Oh
see how it
yeah,
also applies to your body?
definitely. I love it. Instead of focusing on what you don't like, focus on what you do like. And there's the practice of gratitude, right? But I believe it ties into body. And I always say, think of, while you're being grateful, maybe you're thinking of 3 to 5 things you're grateful about. Why not think about 3 things you're grateful about specifically to your body? And I love to say, show your body gratitude, not attitude.
Mm. Yeah, show your body gratitude. Don't show your body attitude. Because I'm a mother of 2 daughters, I forced myself to not hate on my thighs and the cellulite of my thighs and this and that. And I was big. I felt big, like overall and whatnot, because I didn't want to pass that on to them. Like if you get a bad haircut, it's like, it's just hair. It's going to grow back, even though it's awkward now. And so I love body gratitude, and that 100% fits in with these other things that we're talking about. In the moment that I say, thank you, God, for my breath, or whatever you want to say, I'm grateful that I can breathe. I'm grateful, my thighs may be big, but, my shoulders are good. Whatever. I'm grateful for having a square, body structure. I'm grateful that I can sit up straight. I love this. I love that as such a simple reframe. Is Reframe simple, Adrienne?
I think there are so many techniques, and some are simpler than others. I think what makes it difficult is, I believe it's much more difficult for us to say positive things to ourselves and treat ourselves like a friend with love than it is to treat other people with love and like a friend. We're usually so much harder on ourselves. So I think just the mindset of getting into the thought of shifting the mind pattern is what is the most difficult part. Once you start applying it and doing it, like we've been talking about, it definitely gets easier.
It
And I know that there's a couple images you wanted to share today. I don't know if our listeners can see them here or if you'll see them on the replay, but I know that one of them is you rock climbing.
Yep.
and,
Exactly.
and it's like, you got this. And then
Right.
there's another one, and I believe it was your daughter.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. So let me talk about the rock wall. My young teenage nephew was here, and I wanted to entertain him. And I also was on a fit life journey, and I wanted to be strong. Like I have a visual of me being strong, because I was never strong. I never did weight training before. And I climbed a big rock wall with him. And my little young teenage nephew at that time was like, Aunt Susan, you got this, right? And my image is all the way coming to the top of the wall. And the caption says, don't stop now. And that was me, doing the rock climbing. And the other one with my daughter, who is a fitness trainer, it's totally intimidating because she's like built, but it says fit, to have a fit life, and fit, FIT, means fully in tune with yourself. And that's where we really want to say, like that this is what the reframing is all about. It's being fully in tune. The courage comes with being fully in tune with your body instead of so disconnected from your body. And that's why I wanted to ask you, is it easy? It can be easy. We don't want to denigrate. We don't want to be like, anybody can do this, but we want to encourage you to try it. We want you to understand how it can work. We want you to think about it and commit to it for your own body confidence and for your own self.
Yeah, that's beautiful. We just have about a minute left. So I think you've just totally captured the essence of confidence. And is there anything you would like to share before we go, how people can reach you?
Yes, I am a confidence coach. I don't consider myself a health coach or a fitness coach or anything like that, but you've given me the opportunity to see how much my work in confidence coaching really does apply. And I can be found on my website, whatwillyourlegacybe.com. And I am also the Facebook confidence coach, Susan Axelrod. My Facebook page is called What Will Your Legacy Be? And I have confidence building videos every single day. I go live at 5 Eastern.
Beautiful. So, and if you would like to reach out to me and connect with me, you can get me at lifecanyon.com, or you can reach me on Facebook and Instagram at Life Canyon for weight loss transformation tips. You can see my Healthy Life blog, and that's where you can find me. And I would love to help you carve out the healthy life you deserve.
Yay, Adrienne, this is wonderful. Thank you for all you do in this area. So important. And thank you for having me.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to have you. And I'm so grateful that we could show how confidence, transfers over into the body as well as other areas of our life.
Thank you for listening to Master Your Mindset for a Weight Loss Breakthrough. Tune in next time for more groundbreaking insights to help you shift your mindset so you can achieve your goals and feel amazing in your body. Adrienne is here to support and inspire you on your weight loss journey. You don't need to do this alone. For more information about Adrienne or to work with her personally, visit lifecanyon.com.